Welcome back to Macho Movie Madness.
Oh, yeah.
Today, it's the Battle of 1986, and it's going to be fought in the air as we pit Top Gun against Iron Eagle next on Versus.
What is up, guys? Welcome back. And today we are doing Top Gun versus Iron Eagle. Super excited about this. I, Andrew, actually haven't seen Iron Eagle until just last night for this video.
Awesome.
So, yeah, didn't even really know much about it. I knew it existed because we talked about it before, and we've been meaning to do this versus actually for quite some time.
Yeah, a couple months at least.
Yeah. Top Gun, one of my favorite 80s movies, one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies. Iron Eagle, I didn't know quite what to expect with it, but it kind of surprised me in places, and I really actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
It's almost more akin to something that we would do on Warehouse B, and maybe we need to revisit that later down the line. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. It feels, Top Gun obviously is known for this big blockbuster action movie, and obviously it's a big money maker. It still holds up, I think, to this day as a really strong, good movie. Iron Eagle, it's kind of like, and we talked about a little bit off air here. It's kind of like a mixture of Goonies and Footloose meets Top Gun.
Or War Games or something. Yeah,
it's real. It's kind of cheesy. It's goofy. There's some seriousness to it though, and we'll get into all of that. But I guess before we get started, we got our categories. Both of these were released in 1986. Top Gun, that budget for Top Gun was 15 mil. Iron Eagle its budget was 10 mil.
That's
so quite a large budget, really, considering. And Top Gun raked in $357 million at the box office, which is amazing.
The highest grossing movie of 1986.
Yeah, I believe it. Iron Eagle only raked in $24 million. Still decent for a small movie like that. And of course, they rushed this out in January of '86 to beat Top Gun, which didn't release until May of that year.
Yeah.
Sidney Furie was the director of Iron Eagle, and Tony Scott, which we've talked about here recently on the channel, was the director. Beverly Hills Cop 2, Days of Thunder. He directed Top Gun. So for our categories, do you want to say anything before we get into categories?
No. Like I said, been wanting to do this one for a long time. It's almost a David versus Goliath battle, but then when you look at the budgets, you're like, well, is it really?
I mean, really, yeah. But it's just what they did with
their $15 million.
Their $15 million was super impressive compared to what they did with Iron Eagle and their $10 million. But
I'll elaborate more on that when we get into story here.
Speaking of, we'll start with categories just like normal. Pretty well, story, setting, acting, action, and we're going to do best villains today as our last category. If there's a tiebreaker for whatever reason, then we're going to talk about music, and that'll be our tiebreaker category. We might talk about music a little bit anyway. So I guess without further ado, it's just going to be us two today in our picks. So let's see what we can come up with, starting with story. Do you want to break down the story to either one of these a little bit, just kind of give them a basic idea?
Yeah,
in case they haven't seen them.
In Top Gun, you basically have this school, this flight school, Top Gun by the Navy, and this hot recruit comes in, Maverick, and he's kind of flying in the shadow of his dad, pretty much. And like his name says, he goes against the rules, and there's a whole deal there with Iceman, Val Kilmer. And that's basically it. They kind of have a little bit of an incident there at the end. In Iron Eagle, you basically have this colonel played by Tim Thomerson. Damn it, McNulty.
Yeah, damn it, McNulty.
He goes down in this enemy airspace, and it's not really said what country it is.
No.
It's generic Arabian country. Um,
Pretty much.
and his son is getting ready to graduate high school, and he's got all this time on this flight simulator. He's flown with him. The country's not doing anything to get him out, so he's going to go in. Him and his friends plot this rescue mission, along with Chappie Sinclair, played masterfully by Louis Gossett Jr.
Yes.
And they go in and they have their own rescue mission and get him out of there. So that's basically the stories of these two movies.
Cool deal. So I guess with that said, let's talk about who wins what category here. So we're gonna start with story.
Yeah, you go first. I always do story first.
I love Top Gun. I've already said it. I love Top Gun. That whole in the shadow of his father story is, you know, not new now, but it's just something that I liked a lot in that movie. Obviously, he's a rule breaker, which I admire a lot. I don't like to go by the rules either. I do what I feel is right. I see myself in Maverick a little bit, you know. No.
I'm a little more Iceman and you're more Maverick.
I'm a little Maverick, you know. But that said, I kind of, even though there's some elements of Iron Eagle that's a little bit rough in places, it just doesn't make a lot of sense in some places how crazy it is, how wacky it is. It's a little cheesy. I do kind of like the story a little bit better.
Yeah, it's a little more personal.
It's a little more personal. This kid is overcoming his own thing. He's kind of a rule breaker too, but he has to prove himself, and no one else is willing to, all the red tape, no one else is willing to help his father. So he embarks on this mission to save his father, who's going to be hanged.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that part.
So he's going to, it was a bullshit trial. It was fast, and they're basically, as an example for being in their airspace, they're going to hang this dude because they're not getting what they want out of the U.S.
Right.
So I kind of like the whole story, even though it's crazy. I kind of like the story of him going over and saving his dad a little bit more. Yeah. And that's no disrespect to Top Gun, because I love Top Gun.
Yeah. Kind of like apples to oranges for sure. I mean, even though they're both flight movies, you know, Iron Eagle is that middle part is crazy, where all of his friends, the Goonie aspect, where they're going in and running interference so people can get flight plans and you know, get all this topographical stuff. So you know, they can find out where all their, you know, munitions and everything are. And you know, it's just off the rails. It
is, because even if there was a time where it was more lax, and this was the time where it was more lax for whatever reason. I don't know anything about military bases and stuff, but one would think that you wouldn't have a bunch of military kids running around, sneaking around their fathers and their superiors to get all this shit in secret. Like, nobody's going to really know what's going on, which they I think did know what's going on a little bit, but it is kind of goofy. And that's what I'm talking, like, just the story of Masterson. What's the fucking kid's name? Damn it. Doug. Just the story of Doug itself is very Ren McCormick from Footloose.
Yeah.
To me, it's basically a young adult teen version of Top Gun, whereas Top Gun's more adult. Like, it's more aimed at audiences not in their, 16, 17 years old or whatever.
It's a little bit aimed at everybody, because, you've got the whole love story for the girls. A lot of the music in Top Gun is more for the girls. A lot of the scenes have this homoerotic thing going on. The
volleyball shit,
volleyball stuff, all the stuff in the showers with the towels and all the macho posing and everything.
Yeah, it's very much that.
It kind of hits everybody. Like, it's kind of the all-inclusive movie.
Right.
Iron Eagle to me is more to kids, like 8 to 20 maybe. I think it's kind of the target audience for this.
Yeah, for sure. But I think just story-wise, it's a little bit better, because when we talked about it, Top Gun has a story, but and what's going on as you're watching it, but there's just like, they're not setting, I don't feel like they're really setting up for any one thing, any one particular important thing. They're just kind of taking shit as it happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're they have to prove themselves at the end. This one here, though, they're literally setting up a story from the very beginning about going and getting his dad.
Yeah.
And who's going to do what about what. And I just like that a little bit better.
Yeah. I think little bit about why it's off the rails. Top Gun had the full support of the Navy. The movie was so well thought of that, once it started taking off, they had naval recruiters outside of movie theaters. And if you look somewhere, I read that Navy recruitment went up 500% after Top Gun.
Wow.
That's insane. On the other side, Iron Eagle, the Air Force saw this and just how bumbling everyone was and how these kids passed through security, with no checks, no anything.
Yeah.
And they did not provide any help for this movie at all. The F-16s in Iron Eagle are actually Israeli F-16s because they couldn't get anything from the Air Force. And a lot of it was filmed over there. And that's why the budget is like $10 million for that movie.
It's so high because of where the locations were and what they had to do.
Yeah. So I mean, but
because it's not a $10 million movie.
No, it's not. It looks like a $6 or $7 million movie, maybe.
Maybe. And there's a lot of cuts, especially in the action and the flying, between like the flying, the missiles, and the planes exploding. There's a lot of cuts, so you don't actually see missiles hitting things. You don't see any of that stuff. You just you don't see gun. You see like flashes from the machine gun on the plane. Firing. You don't see. And you don't see. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and then the shit just blows up. Now there was some cool explosions at the end, but I'm getting into action. But
but yeah. Anyway, that all has a little bit to do with story. As far as why things kind of were the way they were. Go ahead I interrupted you there, but go ahead with your pick.
Oh, I said Iron. I'm saying Iron Eagle.
Yeah, I'm saying Iron Eagle too. I think there's a little bit more there that speaks to me, on a personal level with Iron Eagle, even though some of it's a little bit campy. It
is pretty campy. But what can you do? It is a good story. Let's go to setting. Of course, I don't have a matching logo here because I think my dumbass actually accidentally deleted it, but I'll have to get another one. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to move into setting here. We're going to give this to you, Andrew.
Okay.
So I'm going to let you pick first.
So in Top Gun, there's some just striking shots in that movie. Mm-hmm. They're on the aircraft carrier right at sunset or sunrise. That scene where he comes into town on his motorcycle there in Miramar, that's a gorgeous shot.
Awesome scene.
Yeah. They're both mostly on bases, a naval and an Air Force base. But there are some other things. I like the bar setting there in Top Gun. Where they're at that piano and playing Great Balls of Fire.
Yes.
Yeah, there are some cool things there. In Iron Eagle, it's mainly just the Air Force base, and then they're in enemy territory. So
it's not bad. It's vibrant. It's a vibrant movie. Like it's nothing really to write home about. Top Gun had a lot of darks and a lot of gloom, and like you said, a lot of sunset shots. It's very the cinematography was just through the amazing in this movie. What else can you say? I mean, really.
I think we're both going Top Gun then on this.
Yeah, one. I think so. I figure that's where you were going.
Yeah,
it's hard because it's kind of hard not to think about obviously the atmosphere and cinematography in this category.
Yeah,
and along with just your locations, and I think Top Gun definitely nails that. Okay, moving on. So that was a pretty easy one. Acting. I mean, I have to give Top Gun. I'll just right out of the gate. So, as far as actors go, Iron Eagle has some pretty cool actors. It's funny going back and watching this after not seeing it and seeing all the people who were those side players in this movie.
Yeah,
and seeing all these movies, like the kid from Friday the 13th Part 6, the one that was
how long's this song?
Yeah, how long's this song? He was one of the goons in that one. One of the bullies guys in that one. And of course he was a bully, but he was nothing by the end. That's kind of interesting. He wasn't a permanent fixture in the movie.
Right.
Jerry, what did I say his name was? Jerry Levine.
Yeah.
Was one of Doug's friends, and he was Styles in Teen Wolf the year before with Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, he's
and
the guy.
I don't think I've seen him in anything else.
Flying the other plane when they're doing the snake.
Yeah, the snake. Yeah. And then you've got what was the other one? Larry B. Scott was Reggie. He was the gay guy in Revenge of the Nerds.
And he's in
Lamar,
Karate
right?
Kid. Yep.
Rapping with Lamar. um, um, you already mentioned Lou Gossett Jr., who's
Phenomenal.
pretty good in just about everything he's in. I thought he overacted even some in this one a little bit, but
Some when they're in the plane, but that scene where Doug's like, "You don't give a shit," and he gives him that speech about seeing young kids dying.
Yeah,
that's some acting.
Well, the one at the end in his trailer was phenomenal. The one on the tarmac or whatever, I thought was good and bad, because he sold it in places and other, but he got like real black, and I thought he was overselling it a little bit.
Well, maybe a little.
I don't know, just the way because he was like, because he got a little tight in his mouth and he's talking like this. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen you do that.
Going to that place.
Yeah, he's going to that place.
Speaking of that place, what'd you think of his dancing to the soul music? I thought.
Oh, it was pretty funny. It was very
taking his butt to James Brown.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Was there anybody else of note in the movie?
I thought the villain was okay for the 2 or 3 scenes he was in.
Yeah, David Suchet or whatever.
Yeah.
And then of course you got Melora Hardin.
Oh, Melora Hardin, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Jan from The Office.
Make me a man.
Yeah. Oh man,
dude, up, didn't she?
I don't think, man, she got hotter as she got older.
Tim Thomerson, I liked a lot in it. He wasn't in it enough, but I liked
No,
him.
he wasn't.
I like Jack Death in anything, though.
How can you not like Tim Thomerson?
Yeah.
With a name like Tim Thomerson. On the other end, Top Gun, obviously you got Tom Skerritt, Anthony Edwards, Kelly McGillis was super fine back then. I think Tom Cruise is good in everything he does, whether you like him or not. It doesn't matter. He's just so good in everything he does. Val Kilmer, man, Iceman. Val Kilmer's awesome. Love it. And then there was somebody else I thought. I'm missing one.
Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan.
Movie lights up every scene she's in. You look at Maverick with Kelly McGillis, and I didn't think their chemistry was all that well. But Goose is the one who had it made, man. He had Meg Ryan.
I know. Yeah, that was a really cool dynamic there. And you had Michael Ironside too. I forgot about that, Michael Ironside. Yeah, poor Goose. You need to tell everybody the story about your wife watching Top Gun.
So my wife thought she had watched Top Gun. And what was it? A few months ago, probably 3 or 4 months ago. I finally played it, and she's like, "Oh, I've never seen this." And then spoilers, guys, for a movie from 1986 that's 38 years old. But when Goose dies, she just looks at me. Her jaw drops, and she's like, "What? They killed you?"
Yeah.
I'm texting Brandon.
It's that kind of movie.
Yeah, he's just laughing, and she's like, "Shut up, Brandon." It was great.
yeah. Shut up. Man.
Oh, she was mortified.
Well, God, it was such a shit death, man. Total accident.
Yeah.
The ejector didn't work right, and he went up and broke his neck on the top of the deal. And God Almighty.
Kind of real life, though.
It happens, man. Shit happens. Or hit his head real hard. Either one. It's a bad deal. But anyway, I think, if I haven't already said it, I'm going to go Top Gun. Yeah, I did say it at the beginning.
I am too.
I just the players, the acting in general was good. I mean, it was so good. The dialogue wasn't really cheesy. It was good. It was fun. The banter, even the homoerotic stuff, was just that. But some of the banter between them and Goose, Iceman, that was all good, man. Really good.
Yeah, I like the stuff where they're in the classroom and they're jawing at each other. Just really good stuff. Really good dialogue too.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, it's just time and again better than Iron Eagle. As much as I like Lou Gossett and Tim Thomerson.
Yeah, it's just there's just not A-listers like the other, obviously. So you don't have, and then some of the dialogue, it is aimed towards more of a younger audience, family audience. So it's not probably supposed to be that great.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're both going Top Gun on that?
Yeah.
I guess. Okay.
So 2-1 Top Gun.
2-1 Top Gun. I can't talk. Let's go to action.
This was the hardest one for me. Top Gun, it's all in the dogfights, and they are amazing. They
Amazing
are
dog.
awesome.
Yeah.
Where Iron Eagle's dogfights are, like we said, are not. They are usually shots of muzzle fire. And the weird thing is, a lot of times he's using his machine gun rounds,
Mhm.
and things are blowing up. And it's,
You're,
huh?
you're like, what? There was a lot of what in this movie,
Yeah,
not just between what they were doing and the things they were saying, but yeah, the action, like
yeah,
there's a lot of convenient editing and cuts in this movie, which made it seem like a cheap kids movie. And I mean it kind of was,
yeah,
but yeah, now the explosions and stuff that did happen was pretty
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's pretty fun.
Especially once he goes and blows up their runway, and then goes and he takes out their refineries and stuff. I
Yeah.
thought that was amazing, and that's why I'm so torn as to where to go on this, because is that one fight as good as the dog fights in Top Gun? I don't know. That's where I'm at. I can be swayed in this one.
The ending was really mad, especially when they shot his dad and they almost killed him. He just freaked and he can only fly well with music.
Yeah,
Um,
and him coming in and blowing everybody up to One Vision by Queen. That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
I
and
love
there
it.
was some good tunes
Yeah,
on this movie
yeah.
on both movies.
While he's blowing things up, Dio's playing, and me and Ronnie James Dio, man. You got me in the feels there.
I was kind of surprised because I'm like, well, this is just a lot of really upbeat, generic 80s sounding music, which I loved. And then later in the movie, you had like "We're Not Gonna Take It" by Twisted Sister,
Yeah,
and all like I'm like, wow, okay, this is
yeah,
great. They actually got some really good music in here. But I tell you what, man, they're both plane movies, they're both fighter jet movies at the end of the day. And I love that scene at the end of Iron Eagle. It was awesome.
yeah.
It was a really good climax to a film like that,
I think that's my answer.
Iron Eagle. But it being a plane movie, the dogfighting, the way they done all that was just so good. There's not been anything better
No,
other than Top Gun Maverick.
yeah, which I still
In the
need to
second one.
see.
Yeah, the second one, which is amazing, by the way. We might have to tie it because I think I might have to go
That's
Top
cool.
Gun.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. I'm good either way, but man, I love that last assault on Iron Eagle. That's so good.
It is really good. It is good. I will give you that. It's just there's so much more plain dogfighting in Top Gun, and it's all good. It's
Yeah,
all good.
yeah.
It's all good.
Whether there's the training stuff with Michael Ironside, or they're at the end where they're actually in the stuff.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah. And I haven't made any of my picks, by the way,
Yeah,
until just right now. I'm doing it on the fly.
I
Just
kind
since
of
we're
am too.
talking it
Um,
out.
I also I really like the flight, even though it's kind of a little bit wonky when they're racing the snake in the beginning. There's some really good stunt flying.
There
Some
is
amazing,
really good stunt flying with him coming up and then like floating back down. That was
yeah, he's
really
doing
impressive.
this. That's yeah,
That was more impressive stuff than the dogfighting in the F-16s.
yeah. I think what you got is, after Vietnam, you had all these pilots with nothing to do, and they're, hey, let's go to Hollywood and do some crazy maneuvers and stuff.
I guess so.
Because
I
it's,
guess so.
yeah, you see stuff like that that's just like wild.
That was a really cool scene too.
Yeah.
That the whole race.
But yeah, between that and the end, I think I'm gonna go Iron Eagle. So we'll tie that one.
Okay. All right. That's music. We might get to that actually, but we're gonna go best villains first. I don't think this is a hard category. I don't think it's gonna be a long category. I like all the MiG fighting and stuff in Top Gun. Obviously, they were and they were some real threats, but they had an actual core face villain. Like there was kind of faceless in Top Gun. We actually had a as cheesy as it was, we had a actual villain, tangible villain with his own army.
Yeah.
And I have to kind of I think I'm gonna have to give it to Iron Eagle.
Yeah.
Because he was a sinister son of a bitch.
Yeah, you didn't know the MiGs that came in there at the end of Top Gun. I don't know that it's really said, where they were flying in from. If it is, I've forgotten that part.
I don't
Yeah,
remember, but
but in Iron Eagle, they shot down his dad when he wasn't flying over their airspace. They gave him this BS trial. They're gonna hang him.
and he was like full blown saying, if you like to his men, if you do not take them out, you will be hanged. I will
Right.
kill every one of you.
I want you to go run through that fire when he drops
Yeah, run
the Hades bomb.
yeah, the Hades bomb lighting up the tarmac, the runway, and you've got people just driving through it and not making it.
Right.
And he's like, one of you, who's brave enough to do this? But he was, and then he got in a jet of his own because he was a pilot too.
Yeah.
And that's how they finished the movie. I don't know. Just for the fact that he was a good bad guy, a sinister bad, and he actually had a face to him, I'm going to go Iron Eagle. I figure that's pretty easy for you too.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
So we are going to have that tiebreaker because we it's 2-2 because action we canceled out. We tied on action.
Wow.
So, which I wasn't really expecting, but music wise,
this may be a controversial versus because I'm going to Iron Eagle.
I knew you would. Man, this is where it gets rough because your soundtrack music, your licensed music in Iron Eagle is better, but your score is 10 times better in Top Gun.
Yeah, and
you can't forget about the score.
Yeah, that main anthem there at the beginning
with that guitar.
Yeah, that's Steve Stevens, I believe, from Billy Idol's band played that.
Yeah,
we have Harold Faltermeyer, who helped write. He did Beverly Hills Cop. I think that's them working together and collaborating.
Probably so.
Yeah.
So you have a way better score.
The songs on Top Gun are okay.
I mean, you have Highway to the Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins.
A lot of Kenny Loggins playing with the boys, with your homoerotic volleyball scene.
So you had two Kenny Loggins songs, one being like one of the top songs probably of the 80s.
Yeah.
Still used in everything. You had Berlin, Take My Breath Away.
Yeah.
Well, we're how we are. I mean, yeah,
right.
But it is a good song. It's a classic.
Like
yeah. Then on the other end, you've got Twisted Sister and Dio like that. So I mean, obviously, we're a little more biased to that.
Yeah.
This might not have been the best category to tie break.
But yeah, I think Top Gun, I think the score just kicks the crap out of Iron Eagle as far as that goes.
Yeah.
It's timeless almost.
It is.
Man, I do like Highway to the Danger Zone. I think Loverboy's on there. I can't remember who else is on that soundtrack.
Let me just look at it real quick.
On Iron Eagle's side, you had some really cheesy stuff like Road of the Gypsy. It's like so cheesy.
Yes.
There's the main song by King Cobra, the Iron Eagle, Never Say Die. It's fun, but it's super cheesy too.
Great Balls of Fire. Oh, you lost that love and feeling by the Righteous.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the oldies.
Yeah. That's
And Iron Eagle had a couple of oldies too.
They did.
Yeah.
Let's see if they
happy there.
They don't even talk about me. Oh, they do. Okay, good. George Clinton. Yeah, One Vision by Queen.
Yeah. Him shooting those missiles off to One Vision's awesome.
Awesome. Hide in the Rainbow by Dio. It's Too Late by Helix. Road to the Gypsies by Adrenaline. Not included in the album that were on the movie was Proud Mary by Ike and Tina Turner. There Was the Time by James Brown. We're Not Gonna Take It by Twisted Sister. Old Enough to Rock and Roll by Rainey Haynes. Some of those don't make a shit to me, but Twisted Sister, Tina Turner, Dio, George Clinton. That's pretty Queen. That's pretty big, man. Getting One Vision by Queen. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm really torn. I don't know.
Man, this is a stupid category.
Why did
we goofed up. I feel like just because you have Danger Zone being one of the biggest songs of all time, and the score was so good, and that Top Gun anthem was so good, I might have to lean on Top Gun just a little bit. I do love Twisted Sister, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to lean on that just a little bit. We might have to find a fucking category to.
It's close enough. I would go that way too. As much as I love One Vision and that Dio song, and Twisted Sister song's pretty good, even though it's overplayed. It made sense in the movie where it was.
Yeah.
But I think I'll go Top Gun.
Okay.
Because man, that just makes you want to get in a flight suit and take off when you hear that music. It's amazing.
It's just so iconic. Man, to think that Iron Eagle could have won this thing's pretty wild.
That's how our verses usually go.
I know. Just because of our tastes and how we try to make them a fair fight anyway.
Yeah.
This is a good versus.
Yeah.
Top Gun takes the win just ever so slightly, which I know we know Top Gun is way better of a movie.
For all you guys crying BS out there, it's a better movie, but
it is a way better movie. And I would watch Top Gun 10-1 on Iron Eagle. I do think I will watch Iron Eagle again. Like I like it a lot. But Top Gun's just, like I said, it's one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies. So but when you break it down the way we break down our tastes, everything, it was a little bit closer.
Yeah.
So this is a good versus. I like this one.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be that close, honestly. And then I watched Iron Eagle again, and I'm like, ooh, man.
Yeah, I think we can make something out of this.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
Go watch them again. They're both a lot of fun. Yeah. Well, Iron Eagle's a lot of fun. Top Gun's kind of all over the place. There's some dramatic stuff in there too. And
it's like I said, it's for everybody. It's a little bit of everything. But yeah, go watch these movies. Go watch Top Gun Maverick too. We might talk about Maverick someday. We will be doing Axel Foley, the Beverly Hills Cop 4, basically. We're going to be doing that really soon. I'm the only one that hasn't watched it yet, so I'm going to get that watched probably today, and then we'll record it here really soon and get that up. And then you mentioned another versus before.
So middle of next month, we're talking August, Alien Romulus comes out, and I'm not expecting much, but the teaser trailer did look good, so we're going to check it out. And along that same vein, on the list of versus episodes, I'm like, man, be a good time to do another Alien versus. So we're talking about Aliens from 1986 against Predator from 1987.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I can't wait for that one.
I think it'll be harder than this one.
It might be. It might be. Aliens is awesome, and Predator is awesome. So we're gonna do that, and then we've talked about it before. This is basically next month or two is also going to be a lot of new stuff. Twisters is coming out here at the time of this recording. It's like another week. We're going to be doing Twisters. There's Deadpool and Wolverine, and then like I said, Aliens next month. The Crow's coming up. We're not really looking forward to that as much, but we will cover it because we're fans of the first one, and at least even if we just have to get on here and trash the son of a bitch, we're going to do it. So yeah, there's a lot of new stuff coming out that we're gonna watch. So I guess if there's nothing else to say, we can wrap this thing up.
Yeah, man. Like I said, go watch Top Gun, go watch Iron Eagle, go watch Aliens and Predator if you want to be caught up for next month's versus.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments below what you think of these two movies, if you've watched them or not. And we'll see you next time.
We're out of here.